Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the film A Flower in Hell, which is a film produced in South Korea in 1958. It talks about a young guy. Around 2 weeks after leaving the army, he went to Seoul to try to find his brother, who was absent for some months. And when he arrived in the capital, he realized that there were many problems there. And it was very difficult to look for a job, and there were lots of criminality, especially in the black market, prostitution, etc. Still, he tried to find his older brother, and he got to find him. Then he realized that his brother, he became a criminal. He worked for the black market by stealing goods from the American bases, and they gathered together with the prostitutes who worked for the American army, and then it was a kind of criminal underground. He begged his brother to leave everything behind and return home to take care of their mother. Of course, that his older brother, he had a prominent position in the criminal organization, and he wouldn't leave, but he didn't want his brother to live this kind of life either, and he tried to convince his brother to go home alone. However, his younger brother said that he would rather die than returning home alone. Then this criminal brother, he had a girlfriend. She was a prostitute and her nickname was Sonia. Then one night, while his older brother and other guys were stealing goods from the American army bases, he talked to Sonia and tried to convince her not to see his brother anymore and to let him return home to the countryside. Instead, Sonia seduced the younger brother of her boyfriend. And then, after some time, there was a humor among other prostitutes of this affair. They had seen that, and the humor reached the older brother, who dated Sonia. Then he got to find out everything about the affair between his younger brother and Sonia. He beat both of them, but he eventually forgave Sonia. However, Sonia wanted to leave the older criminal brother and stay with the younger brother. She tried to convince him to stay with her. Of course, he refused because he didn't want to betray his older brother even more. Then, when the criminal gang was in a kind of operation to steal lots of goods from a train, Sonia called the police and told them about everything that the criminal gang would do, because with her boyfriend arrested and out of the way, then she could stay with his younger brother. When she told that to the younger brother, of course he was outraged and he tried to find his brother. Then Sonia chased him, the police was chasing the criminals, the younger brother was chasing everyone, and Sonia was chasing the police, the younger brother, the criminals, everyone. Of course that the police got to hinder the operation, the criminal operation. The robbery didn't happen, and the police get to kill everyone of the criminal gang who was involved. And then the older brother, who was deadly wounded but still alive, in his last moments, he realized that the only person besides the criminals, the only person who knew about the robbery was Sonia. And if the police appeared so fast, the only explanation was that Sonia told everything to the police. Then he had a knife everyone fell on the mud, which is a symbol to show the mud and the dirt of their own lives. Then Sonia begged for the older brother to forgive her, that she didn't want to die, that she would stay with him. But the older brother ended up stabbing her and she passed away. And then in his last moments of life, the older brother, he forgave his younger brother and told him to be a great person, to make something good with his future. Then he passed away. After a while, we can see that the younger brother is going back home. However, he became a friend with a prostitute called Julie, and she was a kind of woman who didn't want to be in that kind of life. But her parents passed away during the Korean War, which was over only 5 years before, so the harm and the images of the Korean War were still very much alive. So she was an orphan, she didn't have any education, so the only option to her was being a prostitute. But her biggest dream was to get married, settle down, have a family. And then there was some feelings between her and the younger brother, and he asked Julie if she wanted to return home with him, and Julie happily accepted, because she was about to make her dream of having a family coming true. It's also a beautiful message showing that even though you are in the so-called underground, you can recover, you can go straight, and you can have a honest life again. You just need to have the willpower to do so. It's a very good film, realistic, because it shows poverty and the black market without sugarcoating. The acting of the actors is very good. It's good to see the ugly parts of the society, because South Korea recovered a lot from lots of hardships nowadays, and nowadays it's a prosperous country, so it's really interesting to see the willpower and how strong and how determined they were. It's a beautiful film. It's not a romantic film. Oh, there are hearts and roses, the sun in the sky. But it has an interesting end. It has a message of hope in the end, when the younger brother and the prostitute, they would rebuild their lives, start from scratch. So it's not necessarily a pessimistic film. It's just a kind of plot that we don't usually see in the films of the era. But I believe you are going to enjoy that a lot. You can see many landscapes of Seoul. We can see that the city was much more empty, of course, than it is nowadays. And you can see the fashion, the clothes that people wore. So it's very nice. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you!